Imagine forgetting everything you are, every strength of yours, every power you possess, every ability, every gift, sealed away in an abyss of oblivion. This ordeal was the reality of one of the most revered and powerful beings in Hinduism, Hanuman. So, what if you are Hanuman? What if you too have forgotten what you truly are? But here's what makes this ordeal different. Hanuman was not just powerful, he was cursed because he was powerful. Let that sink in. Hanuman as a child had extraordinary abilities. Legend states that one fine morning in the ancient land of Kishkinda, Hanuman soared through the skies. Young Hanuman, son of the wind god Vayu and the celestial nymph Anjana, saw a glowing red orb in the distance. Mistaking it for a ripe fruit, he leaped towards it, his powers allowing him to grow larger and larger as he reached for what he thought was his breakfast. But it wasn't a fruit at all, it was the sun itself. This was not arrogance, it was innocence merged with the infinite possibility. He had no conception of limitation. Indra, the king of the Devdas, watched in alarm as this child grew to an immense size, threatening to swallow the sun and disrupt the cosmic order. Acting swiftly, he struck Hanuman with his thunderbolt, sending the young god child plummeting to earth. Vayu, enraged at the harm done to his son, withdrew the wind from the world. Living beings gasped for breath, and chaos ensued. To appease Vayu and restore balance, the gods granted Hanuman a series of blessings. His power was so vast, so uncontrollable, that a meditating sage cursed him to forget them. A divine amnesia, if you will. Why? Because a being who could grow larger than the mountains and smaller than an atom, who could leap across oceans and lift entire mountains, needed to learn something more important than power, and that is purpose. Think about it. How many of us are walking around today carrying capabilities we have forgotten, talents from childhood we have suppressed, skills we have been conditioned to ignore, be it painting, music, writing, or even excel at a sport? Children are born limitless, but life conditions them to shrink. Society tells you what you cannot do. Fear tells you what you should not do. Your own mind tells you what you must not do. But here's where Hanuman's story gets fascinating. The moment of his remembering wasn't triggered by meditation or divine intervention or some magical event. It happened because someone believed in him. Lord Ram's beloved wife Sita had been kidnapped by the demon king Ravan, and the search for her had reached a critical point. The vast ocean lay between the search party and Lanka, where Sita was held captive. The Vanars gathered around, discussing who could possibly leap across such an expanse. It was then that the wise bear king, Jamban, noticed Hanuman sitting quietly, unaware that he alone possessed the power to make this impossible leap. Looking at Hanuman, Jamban saw not just what was, but what could be and what should be. Why do you sit there so quietly, O mighty one? Jamban began. Have you forgotten who you are? You, whose very birth shook the heavens. You, who as a child reached for the sun itself. As Jamvan spoke, something began to stir in Hanuman's consciousness. Like dawn breaking through night's darkness, memories began to surface. Your body can grow larger than mountains and smaller than the smallest insect. The three worlds cannot contain your power when you choose to expand. No force in creation can harm you. You are the son of the wind god himself, blessed by all the deities. You can leap across the ocean, Jamvan said. You can expand to touch the stars. Your devotion to Ram makes you invincible. You are immortal. With each word, the divine amnesia lifted. Hanuman felt energy coursing through his body, power flooding his consciousness. But more importantly, he felt purpose filling his heart. These powers weren't for his glory, they were in the service of Lord Ram. Standing up, Hanuman began to grow. His form expanded until he towered over the assembled army. The mountains beneath his feet groaned under his weight. And in that moment, something profound happened. Hanuman did not gain new powers. He remembered who he always was. Hanuman's expansion is the breaking of our own conditioning. The limits you accept are the chains you forge. Question everything, challenge every belief that tells you you are not enough. Weakness is not the absence of strength, it is the belief that you lack it. Hanuman did not gain power, he remembered it. Expansion is not about inflating the ego, it is about dissolving the small self to become something greater. When Hanuman leaped to Lanka, it was not just a physical flight, it was the transcendence of fear and limitation. Flying is an ancient metaphor for spiritual ascent. But here's the twist that makes Hanuman's story uniquely powerful. Once he remembered this ability, he never used them for himself, not once. Every expansion, every transformation, every feat of strength was in service of Lord Ram. His heart remained as humble as ever, filled only with thoughts of serving the Lord. You cannot rise while carrying unnecessary weight of guilt, regret, or attachment. Let go. Hanuman never knew if he could cross the ocean, but he leaped anyway. Doubt paralyzes, faith propels. Hanuman flies not for himself but for the cause greater than himself. When your actions align with something higher, the universe itself gives you wings. But flight is only a means. The goal is remembering who you are. That is the goal of every soul according to Kashmir Shaivism as well. Pratyabhishna. Realize that you are the same consciousness as the Supreme One. The deepest secret of Hanuman's story is that he is Shiva in disguise. He is divinity pretending to be a servant. This is the final layer. You are not a powerless being struggling through life. You are divinity playing the game of forgetfulness. And just like Hanuman, your greatest power is bhakti, the union of strength and surrender. And this is where the story takes an even more intriguing turn. According to ancient texts, Hanuman's role doesn't end with the Ramayana. He is one of the seven immortals or the Chiranjeevis, destined to witness the entire cycle of creation. In the next Manvantara, the next cosmic cycle of time, he is prophesied to take the position of Brahma, the creator himself. Think about that progression from a child who had to forget his powers to a devoted servant who remembered them to the future architect of creation itself, all while maintaining perfect humility. And the same goes for you. We are all Hanuman before remembrance. We are all carrying powers we have forgotten, capabilities we have buried, potential we have been conditioned to ignore. And just like Hanuman, our greatest powers often lie dormant not because we lack them, but because we have forgotten them. The question isn't whether you have the power. The question is what would happen if someone reminded you of who you really are. What mountains could you move? What oceans could you cross? Maybe, just maybe, like Hanuman, your greatest limitation isn't your capacity, it's your memory of it. And perhaps, like Hanuman, your greatest power won't come from using your abilities for yourself, but in the service of something greater than yourself. This is the paradox of the awakened being. When you surrender, you become invincible. And surrender is not weakness, it is the recognition that you were never separate to begin with. This is the hidden key. Become big, fly high, realize. And this is your reminder. Remember who you are. The sky isn't the limit, it never was.